Hello everyone, myself Ami Mehta and let us discuss carrier sense multiple access protocols. So in which we have already discussed one persistent CSMA, non-persistent CSMA, P persistent CSMA and CSMA CD. So that we discussed the last one which is CSMA with collision detection. So basically CSMA with collision detection. So if two stations sense the channel to be idle and begin transmitting simultaneously. So for example that two stations are there and it senses that the channel which is idle and it begin the transmitting simultaneously. So they will both detect the collision almost immediately. So rather than finishing transmitting their frames, which are irretrievably garbled anyway, so they should abruptly stop transmitting as soon as the collision is detected. So it is not wait to until the finishing transmitting, but it will terminate the transmission so that the time is not waste because the frame is not uh, reached correctly at the destination. So quickly terminating damaged frame saves time and bandwidth. So which both it save time as well as bandwidth. So this protocol known as CSMA, carrier sense multiple access with collision detection, is widely used on LANs in the MAC sublayer. So CSMA-CD as well as many other LAN protocols uses the conceptual model of figure. So at the point marked T0, so here a station has finished transmitting its frame. Now any other station having a frame to send may now attempt to do so. So if two or more stations decide to transmit simultaneously, there will be collision. So this is contention period, again frame, contention slot, frame, ideal period, again sending frame. So let us discuss that. So how we can detect collision? So collision can be detected by looking at the power or pulse width of the received signal and comparing it to the transmitted signal. So this collision can be detected by looking at the power or pulse width. So by looking at the power or the pulse width of the received signal, we are comparing it to the transmitted signal. So after a station detects a collision, it aborts its transmission, waits a random period of time, and then tries again, assuming that no other station has started transmitting in the meantime. So after a station detected collision is occur, it aborts its transmission and it wait for the random amount of time. So therefore model for CSMACD will consist of alternating contention and transmission periods with idle periods occurring when all stations are quiet quit. So these are the transmission period, contention period, again frame transmission, then again ideal period. So this will happen in this algorithm or in this protocol. So these are the all about CSMA, carrier sense multiple access with collision detection. Now let us discuss the protocol taking turns MAC protocols. So there are two types polling protocol. So the one is polling, another is token passing. So there are two types of protocol. So first is the polling protocol in the taking turns MAC protocols. So the polling protocol requires one of the nodes to be designated as a master node. So in the polling protocol, one node is master node. So the master node polls each of the nodes in a round robin fashion. In particular, the master node first sends a message to node 1 saying that it can transmit up to some maximum number of frames. After node 1 transmits some frames, the master node tells node 2 it can transmit up to the maximum number of frames. So basically that master node uses the round robin fashion. So in operating system we studied the round robin algorithm, round robin scheduling algorithm. So in that algorithm some time quantum is allowed to each and every process, but here not the process, here the node. So here some maximum number of frames can be submitted by one particular node, then it turn is over and the uh, it gives to another chance to second node. Okay, so this is how actually this round robin will work. So the master node first send a message to node 1 that it can transmit up to some maximum number of frames. Now after node 1 transmits some frames, the master node tells node 2 now it can transmit up to the maximum number of frames. So the master node can determine when a node has finished sending its frames by observing the lack of a signal on the channel. So the master node which determine that when a node has finished sending. Okay, and its frames by observing the lack of signal on the channel. So the procedure continues in this manner with the master node polling each of the node in a cyclic manner. This is why its algorithm protocol is called polling. So this is the, here it is a master node and this is the node. These are the slaves. So the polling protocol eliminates the collision and empty slots that plug random access protocol. So this is better than random access protocol because it eliminates the collision and also empty slot. This allows polling to achieve a much higher efficiency. But the first drawback is that the protocol introduces a polling delay, the amount of time required to notify a node that it can transmit. So master node notify the first node, this is the time that required to notify a node. Then again it notify the second node, so this is the polling delay. So the first drawback is that this protocol introduces a polling delay. Now the second drawback of this protocol is, and which is also more serious, is that if the master node fails, the entire channel becomes inoperative. So in total 6 node, we have made one node as the master node. But if the master node fails, the entire channel become inoperative. The next protocol is token passing protocol. So in this protocol there is no master node. So what happened in that in this token passing protocol a small special purpose frame known as token. So token is nothing but the special purpose frame is exchanged among the nodes in some fixed order. For example, node 1 might always send the token to node 2. Node 2 might always send the token to node 3 and node n might always send the token to node 1. So whenever a node receives a token, it holds on to the token only if it has some frames to transmit. Otherwise, it immediately forwards the token to the next node. For example, node 1 might sending the token to node 2. Now if node 2 have some frames to transmit, then it hold that token. But if that node 2 have nothing to send, no frame have to send, it immediately forwards the token to the next node. If a node does have frames to transmit, when it receives the token, it sends up to a maximum number of frames and then forwards the token to the next node. So after sending the maximum number of frames, then it forwards the token to the next node. And if that particular node have nothing to send, it immediately forwards the token to the next node. So this is the view of how actually token passing will work. So the token passing is decentralized and highly efficient, but it has its problem as well. For example, the failure of one node can crash the entire channel because the link is broken, or if node accidentally neglects to release the token. so it forgets to release the token. Then some another node cannot send the frame. So then some recovery procedure must be invoked to get the token back in circulation. So these are also the failure, this or we can say the drawback of this token passing algorithm. Okay, so these are the two protocol which is used in taking turn make protocol, or we can say that this is the taking turn make protocol. So the first one is polling and the another one is token passing. In polling, there is one master node is there, and in this token passing protocol, one special purpose frame which is called token is present. Okay, so this is all about this session. I thank you.